Good morning. In today's video, we are going to make a bunch of cookie dough recipes for the freezer, and we might bake up some of them too. Started with pulling out a whole bunch of ingredients that we're going to need. Just get my apron on here, and then we're going to start making. I'm not sure how many we're going to make today. We'll see how much when I run out of butter. But my goal is at least 3 different recipes. We'll see how that works out. Okay, so let's organize some of this. I have a whole bunch of different kinds of chocolate chips here. I have some cocoa powder, some brown sugar that I just dumped. I am going to make for sure, we're going to make, preheated. We're going to make for sure some white chocolate cranberry cookies, which I have not made before, so it's a new recipe. We're going to make some turtle cookies and some chocolate chip cookies. So it's going to have the chocolate base from the turtle cookies, and we'll put like some random chocolate chips in it, and possibly some regular chocolate chip cookies. It just depends on how much butter we have closer to the end here. Okay, so I think we should make the turtle cookies first. So let me get my mixer. I made this recipe for my Christmas boxes. I make Christmas baking boxes every year for our friends and family and acquaintances and stuff like that. And this last year I made some turtle cookies, which were a huge hit, and they're delicious. So we're going to start with that. And I'm going to double this recipe because we're going to use half the base mixture of this for a different cookie recipe. Okay, let me get my recipe. Okay, I have my recipes here. I found them all. Okay, so for the turtle cookies, we are going to need, we're going to probably double or triple. Let me see how much butter this takes. 1 stick of unsalted butter. How much is 1 stick? Okay, so the recipe calls for 1 stick of butter. I just looked it up. That's half a cup to us Canadians. We don't go by sticks here. So it threw me a little bit. Even though I've made this recipe, I probably looked it up before and didn't write it down. Okay, so 1 stick is half a cup. So we are going to, we're going to quadruple the recipe. So that'll be this whole pound of butter. So I'm just going to put that right into the bowl here. Just trying to get all the butter off the thing here. Okay. Just put that up there. I need a towel. There we go. Okay, and granulated sugar is half a cup, and if we're quadrupling, that is 2 cups. So this is a half cup measure. Two cups. And let's put in the brown sugar as well. So that also is 2 cups. There's probably so much sugar in this due to the cocoa powder that's going to go in it. This is exactly 1 cup. So I'm going to use this. When you're measuring brown sugar, make sure you pack it down. Cream all the butter and sugar together here in a second. Okay. I am making a huge mess. Okay. Okay, so let's cream the butter and the sugar together. While that's creaming together, I'm going to get the eggs. Okay. We need about 4 teaspoons of vanilla. I like to add a little bit extra for flavor. Yep. Now I'm going to add the salt, half a teaspoon, so 2 teaspoons. Okay, and baking soda, we need 2 teaspoons, that's quadrupled. Oh, I almost added too much. I was paying attention to my cat. We do not need baking powder for this one, so we'll leave it over there. Just making sure I've added most of the stuff here. Salt I added, baking soda. Okay, we need to add eggs. We need 4 eggs. Okay, let's scrape this. Okay, so all I'm doing is scraping down the edges so it mixes evenly here. So I'm going to take all this off the edges. Okay, so now we're going to add the eggs. We need 4 eggs. That's 4 times the recipe. If you're not comfortable with cracking eggs, you can crack them into a bowl and then pour them in. Okay, and now I'm going to mix that a little bit. Okay, now we need to cut up some caramel pieces. Now we're going to add the cocoa powder. 1/4 cup, so we need a whole cup. So we're going to sift this because cocoa powder is notorious for lumps. This is 1/4 cup that I'm using, so I need 4 of these. Three. And 4. So now I just need to sift it. If you look, it's got a lot of lumps in it. Actually, I think I'm going to do this. No, it's fine. Let's clean up the mess. I was going to do it into a bowl, but I think this will be fine. This is why this recipe has 2 different kinds of sugar to offset the bitterness of the cocoa. Making a bit of a mess here. So you can see the lumps. This is why you sift it. So to get all of it, you just break them up. The mixer doesn't break it up good enough, and that's why you should sift your cocoa powder. Okay, let me wipe up the cocoa powder here, and then we'll mix this. Okay. This is what it looks like right now. We're about to mix it. I'm going to start on low so it doesn't go everywhere. Okay. Okay, so it calls for 1 1/4 cups of flour per recipe, so we need to quadruple that. So that is 5 cups. So we're going to add 5 cups of flour into this. This is a 1 cup measure. Two, 3, 4. Let's do 4 and mix, and then we'll see if... I like to cook by texture, but this should need the 5th. We'll see here. Okay, let's scrape this. This is one of my son's favorites. He likes to eat the cookie dough, and I'm like, you need to eat the cookie when it's cooked. But I think everybody likes cookie dough, right? Okay, we're going to add the last cup in here. It is a little sticky still. Get some of this down in here too. I just want it to mix nice and evenly, that's why I'm scraping it. Okay, let's scrape that off. Okay, so for half of this, because this is the base, we haven't added nothing to it yet. So for the base, I'm going to take half of this and put it in another bowl, and then we'll do half the turtle cookies and half the other kind of cookie that we're going to do. Move some of this stuff here. Okay. I don't want to totally take that off yet because I still need it, so I'm just going to take the bowl out. Okay, so let's take half of this and put it in the bowl. Use it for a different cookie recipe here. This is why I quadrupled the recipe, because it was for 2 different kinds. Okay, I think that's good. So we have half here and a little bit in this one. Okay, so now we are going to chop up some pecans. You can use whatever kind of nut you want, but turtles usually have all pecans in them. So we're going to use pecans. We'll just chop these up. Okay, that should be good. And now I'm just going to pour it right into this mixture. Okay, now the last ingredient for this one is some soft caramels that go into this mixture here. This is for the turtle cookies. Okay, so all I'm going to do is unwrap these and chop them up. Okay, let's see how many that does. I usually cut these in 3, like that. Just enough so they don't harden too much after they've been baked in the cookie. Oh, that one was a little hard. So now I'm just going to add these into the bowl with the pecans. I'm going to give you a close-up look of this deliciousness before I mix it together here. I'm just going to put it right back onto the base here, and then I'll give you a look. All the pecans and the caramel pieces, yummy. Okay, so let's mix this up. Just kind of get it all incorporated here. And as you can see, there's caramel pieces and pecans. Delicious. Okay, so that's the first recipe. Let's take this off. And let's package this one up so we can use the bowl again. Actually, before we package this up, let's mix this one up first. So let's get some parchment paper. I am going to cook a few of these cookie recipes, a few of each of them. So I'm just going to cut a little bit onto here, onto my baking sheet. Okay, so let's scoop a little bit of those first, and then we'll move on to finishing this recipe here, this one. So I like to use a muffin scoop for this. Works great. Make sure I got a little bit of everything in there. All of these cookie recipes can be frozen really nicely, and you thaw it and it cooks perfectly. Okay, so let's put that one aside. Let's mix up this one. Okay, this one I was going to put just Reese peanut butter chocolate chips in. It's one of my kids' favorites. So Reese peanut butter chocolate chips. Very plain cookie, this one. But this is something that I do a lot. I'll use the cookie base from one and use it to make a different kind of cookie in a different recipe. My children love peanut butter. This one I'm just going to mix by hand because it's not in the mixer. I think I'm going to do this with my hands, it'll be easier. Okay, I think that's good. So now let's take a scoop or two of this off for cookies. So when I freeze this, I freeze it with the parchment paper, and I try to make enough for at least one pan of cookies, which is about 12 or so. 12 to 16 is what I try to make each package in the freezer. So one night after dinner, if we want to make homemade cookies, we just pull out one of the cookie doughs and it makes enough for a nice snack. Okay, so now let's package these two cookie recipes. So all I do let's do this one because this one is pretty much enough for one recipe, one use basically. So what I normally do is I just turn into like a circle like this, and then I try to flatten it a bit, and I do this for my freezer space, and it's easier to stack them once it's frozen. And then I just fold it. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to write on it what it is. I'm not even going to bother writing a date because these don't even last long enough in my freezer for me to write a date. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of my reusable Ziplocs and I'm just going to, actually, I forgot one step, sorry. I knew it felt a little weird. I like to put an extra layer of protection with the Saran wrap. Knew it felt a little weird. And it helps the ends stay nice and tight too. You don't want it opening and falling apart inside the freezer or coming undone and then getting freezer burnt. There we go, that's better. And then I just put it inside my Ziploc, and I'll put probably 2 or 3 in here. We'll see how many we fit. There we go, and then I can stand it up in my freezer like this. Okay, let's package the turtle cookies. These are very, very convenient. Then I only have to do a baking day like this once every now and then. It's much easier. I think I have enough here for 2 smaller recipes. I usually do this one a little smaller than my other ones, just because my daughter doesn't like peanuts or nuts of any kind. So it's a lot easier to make 2 different kinds when it's a smaller amount. Okay. If you want to package these in smaller amounts, that's totally up to you. You could even freeze them individually in scoops, so all you have to do is take it out and make a couple cookies at once. Completely up to you. Okay, let's put some Saran wrap on this. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in the bag. Where'd the bag go? Oh, over here. Hopefully we can fit the other turtle one in here. Do one more. I do tend to like making the packages a little bit smaller, bigger, just for different events. So if I have company over, I can make more. Whereas if we just want a couple cookies, then a smaller package is more convenient. Okay. Sticking to my fingers. Just going to wash my hands and then we'll package that. Actually, let me form it first. Work smarter, not harder, right? So this one's going to be a little bit more. The other one was a little smaller. There. Okay, now I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, let's finish packaging this one. Okay. Just going to put that right in here. Hopefully it'll fit. So it technically has 3 layers of protection. It has the parchment paper, it has the saran wrap, and it has the reusable silicone Ziploc. So let's make the white chocolate cranberry. I cleaned the bowl, washed everything, threw away all the garbage. We've got a clean area now again. Okay, so I'm only going to do 1 times the recipe on this one, just because I've never tried it before and I want to make sure everybody likes it before I make a lot of it. So I'm only going to 1 times the recipe on this one. So I got some butter. We need 3/4 cup of butter. On my butter packages here, it has little measuring guide. So about 3/4 is about there. And we need 3/4 cup of brown sugar. I thought I would try a new cookie recipe. My son will probably eat this. My daughter is very picky, so I highly doubt she will because it has cranberries in it. But my fiance will love these, so I'm pretty sure he will love these. He loves white chocolate, so I'm mostly making it for him. Okay, 3/4 cup. So hopefully he likes it. We need 1/4 cup of regular sugar. This is 1/2 cup, so I'm only going to do half of this. About there. Okay, cream the sugar and the butter together. While it's creaming together, I'm going to put the vanilla in, 2 teaspoons. Oh, this recipe has cornstarch in it. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever made a cookie recipe with cornstarch in it before. Okay, that's nice and creamed together. Except for that little chunk right there. It's okay, it'll mix. Okay, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Salt is important in baking. It balances the sugar and brings out the flavors. It enhances flavor. Baking soda. We need 1 teaspoon. So baking soda. Okay, let me get the cornstarch. I don't think I've ever made a cookie recipe with cornstarch in it. That's interesting. So it says 2 teaspoons. Okay. And let's mix that first. And then we'll put egg in. It says 1 large egg. Okay, I don't need to scrape it down. It's pretty far down already. So 1 egg. Mix that in. Okay, I do need to scrape the bottom. It's all the way at the very bottom and not mixing right. There we go. Okay, so let's add some of the flour. It says 2 cups of flour. If these ones are good, I might give these ones out for Christmas. Cranberries are a really good Christmas recipe, right? I like making Christmas baking boxes for Christmas gifts. Hopefully they'll be well received. Just making sure I've got all the ingredients in here. Yes. So all that's left is the white chocolate and the cranberries. Okay. Make sure we scrape it all. Okay. So I have, how many cranberries does it say? About a cup. I don't know if I have a cup here now, but we'll use all of what's in here. Actually, I have about a cup. Okay. So I'm just going to pour those right in. So for the chocolate chips, I only have a very tiny amount. So we're going to use chocolate chunks in the recipe. I'll show you, give you a little bit better look here. Let me move this out of the way so you can see a little better. So now we're just going to cut up some of these. Doesn't everybody love chocolate chunk cookies? Okay, I need a knife. And we're just going to cut it into chunks. Throw that right in the bowl here. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Just a little bit. Let's do like half of this. Okay. These look delicious. I think they're going to taste great. Okay, let's mix this together and see how delicious it looks. Okay, just enough to mix it. I think that looks delicious. I'll give you an update after I bake them what it tastes like. I'm quite curious. I've never had them before, but they look really good. Okay. Let's see here. Get all the dough off of here. Make sure. So we have our other 2 kinds here. So let's scoop some of these on. This cookie dough does feel a little soft to me, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. If I have to add and tweak the recipe later and say, oh, it needs another half a cup of flour or something, I'll just put it on the recipe for the next time I make it. So we'll see how they turn out. I made it exactly like the recipe, so we'll see. I think I'm actually going to make all of these here. I'm gonna do a regular chocolate chip recipe as well, regular chocolate chip cookie, but we're not gonna make any of those because they're regular ones, so we'll just put those right in the freezer. But because this is a newer recipe, I figured maybe we should make a little bit more of them for everybody to try. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bake these for about 15 minutes on 350 degrees. And we can get started on the regular chocolate chip cookie dough while this bakes. I completely forgot we need to package it first. I went to go and wash the bowl and I'm like, oh yes, I need to package it. I was trying to skip a step. Yeah, this is a little sticky for a cookie dough, but it's okay. I think it'll be okay. If not, we'll just add a little bit more flour. It's nice and soft though, and it did say soft baked cookies, so it's probably supposed to be like this. Get my felt pen. Okay, now we can make the other cookie dough recipe. Okay, so for the last one, we're just going to make regular chocolate chip cookies. It took me years to find the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe. I've tried so many, probably at least 30. Okay, so I finally found one. This one is nice and soft in the middle and crunchy on the outside. Perfect chocolate chip cookie. So we're going to double this recipe. I think I have enough butter left here. So we need half a cup for one recipe, so 1 whole cup. There we go. Had just enough butter. Perfect. I did gauge that right. Okay, and brown sugar. We need a whole cup. That's double the recipe. I'm just going to tell you the measurements for double, okay? So if you want to make half, you can make half. I'm just packing down the brown sugar here. Okay. So 1 cup of brown sugar. And then we need 6 tablespoons of white sugar. One, 2, 3, 5, 6. And then we're just going to cream the butter and sugar together. With every cookie recipe, you should always cream the butter and the sugar together. It makes the base nice. You don't want to just throw everything in. It'll be lumpy. So cream those two together. While it's doing that, we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. I like to do this while it's going, just so it mixes really well. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Oh, hold on. I didn't double the salt. I only did 1 times. Good thing I caught that right away. So this will be 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay. I am going to scrape the sides here. Okay. Baking soda, salt, sugar, egg. Let's add the egg. We need 2 eggs. The vanilla, 2 teaspoons. These are chocolate chip cookies, so I am going to add a little bit more. I like the flavor. I usually add an extra teaspoon. It enhances the flavor more. Okay, let's mix that. Chocolate chip cookies are so easy to make. All that's left is the flour and the chocolate chips. We need to scrape the sides here. Okay, let's just add the flour. We need 1.5 cups, so that's 3 cups of flour. Two and 3. It's very important to make sure you get the measurements correct while you're baking. Otherwise, things will not turn out right. Baking is very precise. There we go. Okay. Now let's add the chocolate chips. My big jar of chocolate chips here. Oh, there's a spoon in here. Someone was probably eating them. It says 2¼ cups, but I say do it to preference. I never measure my chocolate chips, I just do to preference. Some like it more chocolatey, some don't. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so this is the one that we're not gonna bake up. We're just gonna freeze this, so we can package this up here. Okay, let's package this one. Get the parchment paper. Hopefully this will make 2 different batches for cookies. Yeah, this will be 2 different ones. Yeah, that's good. This cookie recipe is one of the best I've ever made. Highly recommend trying it. Best chocolate chip cookies ever. It also depends on the kind of chocolate chip cookie you like. If you like crunchy, if you like soft, if you like a mixture of both. If you like a mixture of both, this is the cookie for you. Oh, cookies are done. Let me check those. Okay, took them out of the oven. I'll show you them in 1 minute here. I use a lot of parchment paper. Okay, dump the rest of this cookie dough out. And the cookie dough does not take long to thaw if you want to use it. I would say maybe an hour tops, and you'll be able to use it and bake with it. Especially if you flatten it out a little bit. And there we go. Now I'll give you a look at the cookies that we just baked and taste the cranberry white chocolate ones. So Ryan is home today, so he's going to try one of the cranberry cookies with me.
What's going on?
Cranberry white chocolate cookies. One of these ones. Yep, of course it's safe. Oh, they're nice and soft.
Ooh. Oh, that's the part about homemade cookies.
Oh my.
Oh, pardon me.
It's because it's warm still. Oh, that's good.
Mmm. Hell yeah.
Oh my. Should make these. They're good. The cranberries are really good with the chocolate. Mm-hmm.
This has always been the favorite part of eating cookies as a kid, is when they're homemade. They're fresh, soft, and if they
really
crumble like where I couldn't hold it, that's an even added bonus. Oh my god, I just tasted
good, right?
it. Yeah, yeah.
I knew you'd love these because you love the white chocolate.
White chocolate and the cranberry.
I told them you'd like them. I knew you would.
Nice blend.
Good, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, those are good.
This
I'm glad I only made 8.
Party in my mouth.
Okay, guys. So this is where I'm going to end the video. I hope to see you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Stay safe. Stay gorgeous.